no, you aren't having any money from it. You're just doing it like the betterment of people, individuals on UT campus. So I think like obviously you can't have like a doctor's office right now because you can't decide. But I can see like there is like a foundational aspect of your vision that is connected to like your passion for like serving people who might not be able to like do things by themselves, or like by your service you are benefiting people that probably won't even know that it's you doing that. Like your name will be like the camera, like your name on it.
Zena, your nonverbals are you're engaged. He's not gone too far from the farm. That's what your nonverbals are. Are there any context issues about what you care about that would enhance his understanding of why that fits?
What do you mean, like from, like, can you repeat that?
Are there any other context issues in your world? So in other words, your entire Bubba thing, what it means to you as opposed to what I just said about it, that helps enhance his understanding of his feedback to you and make it.
Yeah, I think like you kind of grasped what I wanted. One thing I did in my like overall BVM is I kind of incorporated different pieces. So like my values has kind of a little bit of my mission incorporated into it, and then my missions paragraph has a little bit of my values incorporated. So I think like he kind of, it's like separate, but they all kind of intertwine for me personally. So I think he found like my personal like why I'm doing it, but then the mission would more be like why am I looking for UT, you know? So I think he kind of grasped why I wanted to do it.
Which is the only thing you're being asked right now. Okay.
So we gotta do
So that means it's clearly present, and that's a good thing. Okay. Now, you want to give feedback to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think your vision is strong. I just can't find your values explicitly stated.
Are they reflected? And you know his values, so that would give you a little bit more content to go back to.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, because it's leadership through religion, one of his values is Christian love. So I would say yes.
Okay. Matt, do you have any other context issues that you think would enhance that conversation? Because sometimes people give you great feedback, but you push back if you think that there are issues that you really would like to see more.
Right. I know one thing I thought about as you were talking about the vision earlier was incorporating more. I think my vision was like more strictly like this is the project instead of saying like this is why I'm doing the project. So I think I just need to like go back and revise some. But I think like if I did revise it, I would include more like the I guess significance of like from a religious perspective of Abernathy, and then including.
But it still needs to be about why that would be important to you. Because we're now going into this.
Okay, so I guess the.
I want us to make sure we understand that these are the things that drive everything else you're doing with the strategic process. To make sure you get that.
So, I have a question. So, do you want us to explicitly state our values in our vision statement?
No.
So you want to imply it?
I want it present in some way, either by your decision about what you chose to put on there or otherwise. So in that, for example, if it wasn't explicit there, that would be an example of when somebody was giving feedback on this, it'd be their chance to say, well, here are the values that made that choice, and here's why, which require you to be able to know you did it. You see what I'm saying?
What do you mean by now you did it?
You have to know that you had your values there when you made that choice, and you had to have brought them in. What I'm experiencing with the minors, we're doing all this stuff all over the place, but you all aren't going back to the stuff and seeing how they connect.
Yeah, so it'd be better for me to say it because I'm a Christian, because like I'd be like,
And it doesn't mean it has to be written there.
Yeah.
But it does mean that when you gave him the feedback, this is what I see and it's here, your feedback would be, yeah, I did that because I'm a Christian. If it had been, you may have known that because you looked at it, but if Zena had responded to him, she may not have known that. You don't have the relationship with Matt that you do.
But
So that would be your response.
I guess when we're writing a vision, should we have that in mind? That like if people ask me questions about this, I'll be able to then explain why I'm doing it, or should that be on the page?
I think that minimally it has to be present in the decisions.
Alright.
You're asking the same questions Seth did. So making clear that you realize, I get that you're both asking the same thing. And that isn't that it needs to be physically written, but if you're the person who you need it physically written, more power to you.
Okay.
Some people are, but what has to happen is it has to be present in the decision making. You shouldn't be doing things that don't go.
So you're saying I decided to study this religion and leadership because I'm a Christian and that's what you should put in your mission?
No. What I'm saying is that if you decided to study religion and the leadership in the religion, then you put what you put that is the why you did it and how it fits through the fullest.
Okay, I think I got it.
And the decision that made it was founded on what's in your vision
So
statement.
really it's just like, we need to know that. But if we're giving it to other people, they need to know our values too, or they should be able to tell our values and what they read.
Both.
But what if they can't? And that is so, you can't.
Well, let's be honest, if somebody's writing about a church piece, they're either virulently anti-church or they're virulently supportive of church. Okay, so the values are present there.
Right.
And how you talk about it in your thing will suggest that. So it doesn't have to be overt, but you do have to have it present in the choices you made and the messages you're sending. And if they're not in this message, figuring out how to get it closer so somebody might pick up on what's in writing. But clearly, when you talk about it, it should be there. Which is the whole point of why I started this way. Because I think that that's the big challenge. You're doing it for me because it's the assignment. Dr. Boyd made me do something that fit with my values. But I don't want you thinking about what Dr. Boyd required because it's my assignment. It's how does it help?
Yeah.
So your boom is structuring what matters to you, or it's supposed to. It's supposed to reflect what matters to you now.
Right.
And then with that, then your choices should go through your boom. All of your choices about what you're going to do to spend your time and energy. This being the biggest thing you did at college would suggest that it reflects that to some extent. It did something for you. Therefore, it doesn't have to be overt. Yours is going to be hard to be overt. Because you're not going to be able to write it so somebody else is there. But the values that you did say in it about voice, representation, those are your values too. Education. Those are your values. They're coming out in what you said. They may not have been as overt, and what somebody heard from it may not be what you wanted them to hear. But in a feedback dialogue, you have to be able to know it well enough to come back with, I hear you, here's what I needed you to hear. That's the point of this. So that you're learning how to put it in writing and learning how to talk about it. That's exactly why I did this, because that's the foundation. And if you don't have this figured out, then it's going to be harder for you to strategically plan well.
So instead, I guess just like for my example, instead of saying like, I'm a Christian and that's why I'm like writing about this, it'd be better if I was able to say like because, or by studying blah 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 blah, it gives like opportunity for like modern applications to be able to be applied to like current context or something like that.
That's good. Let me do this for you though. Help them understand why that achieves your boom. I know your boom. That doesn't. Tell them why it fits your boom.
Okay.
Tell them why now. Literally right this minute.
Because I do think that's like important and it's like applicable to take like a case study from the 60s and the civil rights movement and be able to say like it's a similar, in some ways it's a similar context as it is now. So there's potential for like a similar leadership to be able to be effective, I guess, in current context as they were back in the day.
And your whole vision, values, and mission statement is to figure out how to use your research to make those things more likely to be understood by people.
Yes.
And it's specific to the Christian setting. That's his entire vision, values, and mission. So it's present in what you just said. Now let's practice yours.
Okay, well, real quick, like, for example, like his value of like the Christian ideology was love. Like I feel like that's very straightforward. Whereas if you have, and like you couldn't, like I feel like let's say that's his value, and then he decided to do a project on, you know, when it rains, involve football attendance, and he wants to increase attendance, and that's his vision. how would he put the Christian love piece in there? Because like, for example, I feel like my values are not as like explicitly stating, even though I know that they do like guide what I do and what I work on, like I don't think it's necessary to explicitly say every time what I'm doing. Maybe when I'm talking, but in writing, I think that if you're writing about how the Leadership Study Board affects the leadership studies academic community, I don't think it's necessary for me to say, well, I value, I value giving people a voice. I think that's what I am saying, what I am doing. But I don't think someone reading that would go, oh, this